It is time for TMS Torch Talk, and there was a dramatic exit off Survivor this week due to a medical emergency.
The weather was terrible last night, so we all decided to sleep in the shelter we built. In the middle of the night, I felt like a sharp sensation, it's like a zap. And I realized that I was limp on my right side.
And so, Randen, for those reasons, out of just being very cautious about your health, we are pulling you from the game.
Well, after sleeping on bamboo, Randen woke up feeling numb and unable to grip anything with his right hand. This led to the aerospace technician from Brooklyn, New York, being medically evacuated from the game. And Randen joins us this morning for another edition of TMS Torch Talk. Randen, good to see you. And first off, how are you doing? And can you take us through exactly what happened?
First of all, hello, good morning. Yes, I woke up to, let me tell you, that storm footage that you see, well, you don't see it much, but it was one of the worst nights I've had in my life. I felt like very confused. I had like this massive pain behind my neck. And it turns out it was kind of like an abscess of something with fluid pressing against a disc, supposedly. And it felt like just my right side had no feeling whatsoever. And I had this massive migraine, and it was causing I was just confused. I can tell you that I was scared, but your mindset at that point is stay in the game, not yourself. At least that's my mindset. And it was very hard to accept that my body was going through something, and I'm trying to convey strength and trying to stay in a game. You get to the point where you're kind of like, what do I do? If I tell people, if I'm like, hey, I'm going through all these issues, you're going to be evacuated, right? Quicker. I felt like I was going to throw my game out. So I'm struggling to maintain my position, my gameplay. But in all actuality, I was going down pretty fast with those injuries that are supposedly coming from the way I slept. It's devastating. It's kind of like I don't know if it's 40-year-old problems, but let me tell you, it was not a good night for me, and it was a case of humble pie.
Well, Randen, I think it also, everyone watching at home, all we think about is how tough is it really? And I think it goes to show just you guys really are surviving the elements.
It is. You are 100% right. That is real. That night was horrible. I've never experienced any storm like that. I think I was hoping that it would go away, like you would, your arm or when you sit down too long for something and it gets numb and it goes away. And, in Survivor, you push yourself to the limit. You are testing limits mentally and physically that you have never done before on an empty stomach, drinking not enough water. And it's real. It's 100%. Survivor was the hardest thing that I have ever done in my life, mentally and physically. And I would tell people, you could sit on a couch, like Jeff says, and watch and critique, but until you're there, it is no joke.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, it certainly was a dramatic exit. We're glad that you're doing well and you're okay now. And thank you so much for joining us here on TMS Torch Talk.
Thank you for having me. A pleasure.